So I know it's been like 15 years since I actually filmed a video where I sat down and talked to you all, and I'm so happy to be back. Just been a lot of stuff going on. As you can see, I'm in a totally different space. I'm no longer in that room that had the red wall anymore, but I've just been doing a lot of transitioning and moving and traveling. So I'm happy to finally have a space that I can dedicate to filming. This is or will be my beauty room once I finish it. It's pretty bare in here, pretty much white, all white everything. I just don't like that right now. I want a little bit of color pop. I don't really know exactly what I want to do in here yet, so yeah, but once I get it all together, I will definitely film like a beauty room tour and show you guys everything that's in here, because I'm gonna love it when I'm done. Right now I just like it, so I want to show it to you when I love it. But enough with the rambling. So as you can tell from the title of this video, I'm going to be just sharing some of my tips on how to thrift for vintage clothing or just clothing in general, and these are the tips that I have found have been useful for me. I've been thrifting for years, probably almost 10 years now, and I get a lot of my clothes from the thrift store. This top I'm wearing is from the thrift store, the skirt I have on is from the thrift store, and at the end of this video I will do a try on, or pretty much just put on some of the clothes and show you how they look on, because I just want to play dress up. So I'm going to do that at the end of the video, but I wanted to share these tips because a lot of the times people come up to me, and if they compliment my clothing, they're always asking me where I get things from, and they're so surprised or taken aback when I tell them I get it from the thrift store. That is my favorite place to shop. I will go to the thrift store first before I go anywhere else. There's so many benefits to thrifting that you just can't get anywhere else. First of all, the price. And you know I'm all about the savings. All about the savings. I'm here for it. I have signed up. I'm gonna be first in line with a coupon. So yes, love that, the fact that it's like cheap and great. I also love the fact that when you thrift, you can find one-of-a-kind pieces, like nobody else is gonna have your stuff. And I also love the fact that the quality of the clothing is so much better. When you look to clothing that was made years ago, it's like handmade, it's 100% silks, it's like beaded. You can find that stuff now, but it's not going to be is nice. It's just not gonna be the same. So I prefer to go to a thrift store because I know I'm getting the best bang for my buck, and I can find something that nobody else is going to have. So I want to share these tips with you all. Hopefully if you implement them, you can have some success as well. I will say that no two shopping trips are the same. So every time I go to the thrift store, I do not always come back with fabulous things and just be happy all the time. I mean, sometimes like any other shopping trip, I just don't find anything. That happens when you go to the mall too. So yeah, just go with an open mind, and you'll be fine. So let's get started with the tips. I'm just going to, I don't know what kind of order they're going to be in. I'm just going to give you the tips, and we'll just figure it out when we go from there. Okay? Okay. So in my opinion, one of the most important tips that you need to know is when to go thrifting. Okay? Thrifting is not like going to the mall. It's not like going to Zara or H&M or Forever 21, where you can just walk in with something in mind, like, okay, I'm looking for this particular type of item in this size and this cut and this color, and I'm gonna find it. It's not like that all the time. And when you go thrifting makes a difference on the items that will be there, the quality of items that will be there, perhaps even the price of the items when you get there. So my number one piece of advice, if you have not been having success when you're thrifting, is to avoid thrifting on the weekends. Okay, I know this sucks for a lot of people, but I very rarely thrift on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Okay, first of all, I just hate it. It's too many people. They're everywhere, and there's kids, and there's crap all over the floor, and I mean, you can't find anything because everything's on the go bag, and the dressing rooms are full. It's just a hot pop badoo bop mess. Okay, think about it. When do most people have free time? Okay, when they're off of work, and most people are off on Saturdays, Sundays, after they get off work on Fridays. And a lot of people like to shop on weekends. So you can just imagine that there are more people in the store on weekends. If there are more people in the store, stores are less likely to be bringing new items to the floor trying to stock, because the store is such a mess. It's hard to get in between aisles and bring out racks of clothes and put things out when you have so many people in the store. There's also another downside to shopping on the weekend, and that's because you don't get as great of a selection when you shop on weekends, in my opinion. There are some people who will get up super early on weekends and go thrifting, and they will snatch up everything. I am not about to set my alarm to get up on the weekend after I've been getting up early Monday through Friday, because I got to get all the Z's, okay? So I just feel like, to me, it's not worth it. And then too, when you think about stores aren't really stocking more on weekends, from what I've seen, it's kind of like the only clothes that you're going to see. So say you go to the thrift store Saturday, a majority of the clothes you're seeing are the ones that were picked over from Friday, okay? Because someone went to the thrift stores Friday and they went through all the stuff, and the store's a mess Friday night, and they may have put some stuff back a little bit, but they're probably not about to bring out a whole bunch of new stuff before Saturday, because the store's going to be a mess again come Saturday, right? So I just say to avoid thrifting on the weekends. It's going to be way more people on weekends. I think there's going to be much less of a selection when you go on weekends, because the clothes have been picked over, and also because the stores have not put out more items. So I just think that it's best for you to try to go thrifting Mondays through Thursdays. I would say the only caveat to that tip is if you go to a thrift store that's like an outlet, or that has sales, or that stocks on particular days. So there is one thrift store in particular that I like to go to. Every Friday is when they put out clothes, and they have, it's like an outlet store. It's $2 on Friday, like $1.75 Saturday, $1.50 goes down like a quarter every day. So Friday would be the best day to go, because they do not put out clothes for the rest of the week. Friday is when they put out clothes, and then they dwindle down throughout the week, and then they restock again for Friday morning. So if it's something like that, then definitely go, you know, the day when they put the clothes out. So yeah, moral of the story is just try to avoid thrifting on weekends. I just think you'll be much better off if you try to go Monday through Thursday. You'll have a better selection, be less people, and you might even have an easier time at finding things for yourself. When to go thrifting doesn't just stop with what day of the week you go thrifting. For some people who don't like to shop often, which I just don't even understand, like, how could you not want to go shopping like every day? That's just crazy to me. Some of my friends, they're just like, I just don't have the time. I cannot be in thrift stores every day like you, because I will go to a thrift store every day if I could, sometimes 2, 3, 4, and 5 a day. But if you're just like, you know what, I don't want to be like an avid thrifter, but I would like to partake in some of the vintage clothing and selections. So if you're a person who's like, you know what, I'm not about that Monday through Thursday life, or Monday through Sunday, some people do what you do, I would say to go thrifting when the seasons change. I say to go thrifting when the seasons change because these are the times when people are cleaning out their closets, they're donating clothes, and they're getting rid of their old items. And that is great for us thrifters. We love that. So if you're a person who's not like me, who's like, you know what, I don't want to go every week, I would say like now is the perfect time because fall just stumbled upon us. I'm so happy about the fall. Isn't it great outside? So fall season, people are getting rid of their summer clothes. They're packing up stuff. They're bringing out their old winter bins. And as they're hanging things up for this season, you know, sometimes they're like, well, I wore this sweater. This is the 3rd year I've had this sweater. I want to give this sweater away. Or they're like, you know what? I've had these clothes for like 15 years. I have never worn this stuff. It still got the tags on it. I'm not about to do none of this stuff. I'm going to just give it to the Goodwill. That's great. Think about it. When the seasons change, people are cleaning out their old stuff. So if you don't want to go every week, I would say maybe just wait and go a couple times a year. But if you're going to wait, try to do it as the seasons are changing. When it's going from fall to winter, winter to spring, and spring to summer. Those are some great times to get some good deals. So we've talked about when you should go thrifting, and where you go thrifting is like a close second to me in like the most important tips. I live closest to the city of Atlanta, so it's of course a big city, a lot of people, heavily populated. And let me tell you something, I avoid cities, big cities, when I go shopping. I do not shop in the inner city. I think that you're just not going to have as great of an outcome when you're looking for product, when you're looking for quality, when you're looking for those beads and those sequins and those vintage, like great hot popping items. I just do not have good luck when I go to the inner city, so I just stopped going. And let me just explain that for a little bit. So think about who populates the inner city most of the time. You normally have young people, young couples, college students. You don't normally find a lot of generations of family. So you're not finding a lot of generations in history of clothing and items. A lot of the times the people who are coming here may be moving for a job, moving for school. They're not bringing a lot of stuff with them. So when they donate things to Goodwill and thrift stores, a lot of the things aren't going to be vintage, or they're going to be things that might just be from last season. I mean, if you're looking for something that's more current, then, you know, it would be great for you to thrift in the city. But for someone like me who's looking for those more 80s, 90s, 70s type of pieces, I just do not shop in the inner city, because a lot of times people are not donating those items when I go to those stores. Unless I can find a neighborhood in the city that's a little bit older, then I might go to a thrift store in that area. But for the most part, I will thrift in suburban areas. I like to go outside of the city limits. I go into the far county where don't nobody stay, and when you're driving down the street you see cows and goats and sheep and ducks and birds flying and roadkill. That's where you're gonna find you some good stuff, girl. Trust me. Half the stuff that y'all see behind me, like, I don't get it from the city where everybody is. Like, I don't have time for that. And then all the trendy people are in the city, and all the hipsters and the thrifters, so they're going shopping in the city too. And I don't have time to be competing and running in the store when I see them in the parking lot, because I run when I see like a little young trendy chick going into the thrift store and she's like, she about my size, she about to take some of my stuff. No ma'am. I will trip you up on your way into the store. Yep. You better move quick. Knees to chest. I just avoid shopping in the city. If you have not been having good luck and you've been going to a lot of stores that a lot of people might visit, I would say go the opposite direction. Go somewhere else. Go outside of the city. You know, pull up some thrift stores that might be 35 miles out of the area. I know it might sound far. She'll wanna. So like I was saying, I know it might sound far, but a lot of the times I'll just go to these places when I have some free time or some downtime. I pretty much know all the thrift stores in my area, so I don't really have a problem knowing where I'm going. But I just say just try not to go where everybody else goes. Take the road less traveled. You see how I did that? Because I be reading. I be reading. Where you shop also has another little tip underneath it. It's like a part B. The last one was like a part A. So my part B is, do not be scared of stores that are not like, I guess, like name brand, like Goodwill. I mean, that's the only really name brand thrift store I can think of. But I love to go to those like mom and pop thrift stores, or those little small ones on the side of the road. You just never know what you're going to find. Do not judge a book by its cover. Sometimes they have some of the best items. I would say where you shop, it makes a difference. So I would say avoid the inner city or the big city if you've been shopping there and haven't been finding a lot of stuff. And I would also say don't be afraid to go to those small little boutique mom and pop stores. I mean, they probably have some really cute super stuff in there, girl, and they will probably negotiate with you on those prices. You can get them down a little bit, maybe get your little student discount or something. You never know, girl. Savings. So I know the tips I've given you, they haven't even gotten you into the store yet, but I think it's important for you to know the background tips before you actually get up in the store, girl, because you just might be wasting your time. So I'm going to say that who you shop with is important too. Don't take that friend with you who is not about to be about that thrift life. She's gonna mess it up for you. Don't take her. Leave her home. Don't go with somebody who doesn't like to thrift. Go with somebody maybe who thrifts a lot, or go with another friend who doesn't thrift. I mean, it will be fun for both of y'all. Just go with somebody who's gonna make it fun for you, and you can show them things. You can bounce ideas off of them. I just think that it's helpful if you're not a person who likes to shop a lot to take a friend with you. I personally shop by myself because a lot of me and my friends are like the same size, and they be trying to get the stuff that I'm trying to get, and then we end up fighting, and it's like 15 years of friendship down the drain over a blouse. I just don't have time for that. Like, I love you, so I would just rather not do that. And it just works better for me. So yes, I like to shop by myself, but if you are a person who is not a shopper generally, take a friend. I think it'll make it a lot more fun. What you wear when you go thrifting is important. It's very important. A lot of the times when you go to thrift stores that aren't like big name thrift stores like a Goodwill or something, they may not have a fitting room, and that sucks because vintage size clothing and modern size clothing totally different, on totally different ends of the spectrum. So when I thrift shop for skirts, I sometimes have to go a size or two up just to get them to fit my waist, because back in the day the average size for a woman was much smaller than it is now, so the clothes are sized differently. They didn't, I guess designers just didn't want to keep increasing the sizes. They just kind of adjusted the sizes to the times, which makes a lot of sense. So I think it's very important for you to try your clothes on. That's try them on. I mean, you just never know how something's gonna look. You never know if it's gonna look good on you. You might think that in your mind something looks great for you, but there might be darting or seams, or you know, the waist might be super small and you just don't know if you can fit it, and it's gonna suck if you get it and you can't wear it. So I just say always to try things on, okay? So that's a tip. And another tip behind that is to wear leggings. Wear something that you can comfortably get clothes over, that you don't have to take off, because like I said, there may not be fitting room. So I personally wear like some leggings. Now that it's getting a little cool outside, I'm having my little Uggs on. I've been waiting to wear my Uggs for about 6 months, girl. So I will wear my Uggs and maybe like a little cami and like a little cardigan or something, because if I see a blazer or a skirt or something I want to try on, I can just take my blazer off and just put the cardigan, take my cardigan off, put the blazer on, and just pull the skirt up over my leggings and see if it fits, because they're gonna have mirrors in there, but they just may not have a fitting room. So wear something comfortable. And then too, you know, they're gonna be washing clothes before they put them out on the thrift store sometimes. I don't think any thrift store washes clothes, and some folks will donate dirty clothes, and you just want to protect yourself because there might be some spider monkeys in there. I mean, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to scare you. Just shake it off real good and then try it on. But you just want to make sure that you could, you know, cover it up, protect it, because you don't want mothballs and stuff going down the back of your shirt. I'm sorry. Okay, let me shut up because I don't want to steer you away from going to the thrift store, because it is great. I've never had a spider monkey jump on me. Okay, so just don't pay attention to me. Just go on to the next one. When you go thrifting, you have to go with an open mind. You cannot go thrifting with something in mind that you want to get. I think that really ruins the experience. You can't say, I'm going thrifting because I want to find some high-waisted Levi distressed denim jeans that's going to be ripped up, and I'm going to wear them with my little cowboy boots and be looking cute. Okay, you can have that in mind, girl. But what you're probably going to find is some high-waisted Levi jeans that's high water and real pudgy around the waist. And what you can do is you can get them and cut them up and distress them yourself, and it'll be real cute and real cheap. But I say go with an open mind, because a lot of my friends will be like, you know what, I want a blazer, so I'm gonna go to the thrift store and get a blazer, and when they get there they don't find it. I think when you go with something in your mind that's like very particular, you're like targeting this item, and if you don't see that particular item, then you're just like not liking anything. You're just like, ugh, nothing's cute, I don't want anything, I'm leaving. Don't do that. When I go thrifting, I don't go thrifting like, you know what, I'm going thrifting to get a skirt. No, I just go to the thrift store. What will you find? You never know. It's like an experience every single time I go, and I stumble upon some amazing things every time I go. So I'm just saying, when you go to the thrift store, just go, just look at everything. Look at the tops, look at the skirts, look at the blazers, look at all the stuff, look at coats. You never know what you're gonna find. But don't go in the thrift store saying, you know what, I need to get a white dress that's spaghetti strap and that's cut like this, and they got lace on the shoulder and a little headpiece to match. Okay, you need to go to the mall. That's where you need to go. Because you might not find what you're looking for, and especially if you need it like urgently, you're just probably going to frustrate yourself, and that's going to make you not want to thrift. And I don't want that, because I want you to save and be cute. So you got to go to the thrift store. So when you get in the thrift store, I like to tell people, do not sift through every single item on the rack if you're not a person who really wants to do that. Because some people are just like, you know, I just don't want to do that. It takes too much work. I don't want to dig through bins. I don't want to do all this stuff. Okay, you're going to have to do a little bit of work, but the payoff is going to be so amazing. I think that you can pretty much look at things and kind of determine if you like the fabric, the color, the pattern, the material it's made out of. If you don't like shoulder pads, well, which you should, because even if you see something with shoulder pads, you can always cut it out. But if you see something that you don't like, don't touch it. Don't worry about picking it up and sifting through it. But if something piques your interest, if you see something on a rack and it's like, that looks interesting, go over there, pick it up, hold it up, try it on. You never know what it's going to look like. I pick up so many things at thrift stores. Sometimes when I go with my friends and they're looking at me like, if you don't put that down, because that's looking like old lady grandma. And when I put it on, and I put me a little lipstick on, and me a little pump, and I got my little bag, and my little hair to the back, they be hating. Okay? So just think about what you can do with the item. Don't go into the thrift store and think that everything looks frou-frou and lame and it's just not going to work with you and your figure. Pick it up and try it on. But you don't have to sift through every single item on the rack. What I normally do when I come in is I kind of scan the aisles. I just kind of look and see if I see anything that piques my interest. If I do, I go to it and I pick it up. And sometimes I just walk by and just kind of, you know, thumb through, you know, and I don't always see something. You might not always see something, but if you do, pick it up, give it a chance, love on it a little bit. You might surprise yourself. So yeah. If you find some items in a thrift store that you think are not at 100% condition, I'm not going to tell you to leave it, because sometimes you can upcycle and make things like so much better. I've picked up blazers where a button might be missing or a skirt might be too long for me, and I've taken them to a tailor and I've gotten the skirt taken up, and it's been so cute. And I go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or like a fabric store, and I'll get buttons and I'll change all of the buttons, and it'll just make it look so cute. I mean, it's something so simple and cheap that you can do to an item to make it your own. If you find something that's too big, like a blouse for instance, I purchased a blouse that was like a 4X or something, and I put like a small little skinny belt on with it. So freaking cute as a dress. Like, you never know what you can do with items. So even if it doesn't look like it's perfectly fit for you, perfectly made, think about how you can transform it and make it your own. And that way you know for sure nobody else is gonna have it. And that's the beauty of thrifting. I mean, you could just really find something and turn it into something totally different. So don't be opposed to that. Also, just be aware that if you see it as cute, you might not necessarily need it. I have to tell myself this a lot because I purchase a lot of similar items. If you're a person who likes a lot of black, or if you like a lot of a particular type of skirt or jean, try to step outside the box sometimes. Pick up an item, and if you say, you know what, I have like 7 things that are just like this, maybe you shouldn't get it. But I mean, if it's cheap enough, then get it. Maybe the tip isn't all that great because I'm telling you to get something you don't need. But try to get something that you wouldn't normally get, okay? I think that you will have those statement pieces that just pizzazz your wardrobe, and you never know where you're going to go and where you're going to need it. Sometimes I buy these like elegant gowns and these floor-length dresses, and it's like, I don't have nowhere to go to wear this stuff, but I have it for when I need it. And you'll be so happy that when that holiday party comes around or that gala comes around and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to wear, you're like, oh my god, I do have that one little really nice dress that I bought at the thrift store. I mean, that makes it great for you. Just have statement pieces in your wardrobe. Think outside of the box. You don't have to thrift for everyday pieces. You can thrift for things that you might not wear every day. You might even wear it one time, but if you don't pay that much for it, then it's worth it. Alright guys, so I'm going to put on a couple of the items, some of my favorite items that are on this rack behind me, and I want you to realize that you can find these amazing things if you go to thrift stores, okay? So I hope that you guys got some really great tips from this video. I know I'm probably talking super fast, it's gotten dark, the sun's gone, just in here just looking ashy. Okay, so I'm going to put the clothes on, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So leave some comments down below if you love thrifting like me. If you want some more tips or videos or something, I don't know, let me know, girl, because thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Just put my